Unit 12, a recap unit. Outside looking in. Hello manager, this is Victor Marromo, your strategic planning and performance management coach. This course commences with an observation. We know this to be true because we have often seen it verified. The observation is that it is difficult for us to see our organizations and business units from the outside in. It's not easy to comprehend outcomes for key stakeholders. We're continually drawn to seeing what we do from the inside out. The result of this is a bias, and this bias is both serious and pervasive. It is serious because it leads us to misread good performance on processes as competitive advantage, which is not. We think that by making them best practice or high quality, we have automatically achieved competitive advantage. This notion is false, but understandable when we recognize our short-sightedness in looking only from the inside out. As we already know, competitive advantage is doing better on strategic factors in the eyes of our key stakeholders, only in their eyes, not in our eyes of the inside and employees of our business unit and organizations. If certain processes don't achieve this, they may not be important. Unless certain processes achieve this, they may best be abandoned. Until certain processes achieve this, they may not demand our attention. As a keys to their success, many organizations list items described as critical success factors and key result areas, and are very focused in these two. These two lists, as we've seen them time and time again in organizations and business units, are usually a confusion of internal processes, vague domains of activity, and perhaps a sprinkling of strategic factors. They are also not classified by key stakeholder. Our problem as members of organizations and business units is that we become enmeshed in operations. We insist and we can help ourselves on looking at our performance from an operation point of view. Why? And this is something that Mr. Professor Henry Mintzberg have said again and again. Managers are so immersed in their day-to-day and enmeshed in operations that they forgot to see the outside, the key stakeholders. Why? Because that is our preoccupation on a day-to-day basis. To be effective, we must take a strategic perspective. This is the outside in view. Professor Henry Mintzberg always talks about this, and he points the case study of IKEA, which was a regular furniture store. When they started seeing that their customers try to disassemble the furniture, in order to fit them in their cars so they can live and take their furniture to their homes, their strategic approach changed. And they said, hey, if our customers are unassembling the chairs, the tables, the legs of the tables in order to take their furniture to their home, why don't we do that? Maybe that is a way of selling our furniture unassembled. Once we take this view, we see our key stakeholders see us, like the case of IKEA. We adopt their criteria of assessment, not ours. We look at our performance through their lens, not ours. We have now seen from this course that once you adopt this approach, you can develop strategy for a wide variety of organizations and business units. Profit-seeking organizations, but also not-profit organizations, and public and private sectors can be approached in this way. Strategic factors also provide a common currency through which we can link our strategic planning, involving strategy analysis and strategy development with performance measurement and management. So, the journey through our course from units 2 to 11 have taken you through a series of steps that started with identifying key stakeholders and ended with writing a strategic action plan. The section below summarizes these steps, while the last section pulls together the benefits of our strategic planning performance management system outlined in this course. So, identify key stakeholders, identify strategic factors, assess performance on strategic factors, set target on objectives, develop strategy to achieve targets, set targets on strategic factors, write strategic plan. The 7 golden points of this course. We'd like to end this course by drawing you back to the results of employing strategic factors. Connecting strategic analysis and strategy formulation. Defining competitive advantage. Conducting competitive assessments and assessing competitive advantage. Establishing clear and quantified objectives. Writing clear and focused strategy. Developing strategy for all key stakeholders. Developing strategy for non-profit organizations and for business units. Defining value. Defining differentiation and positioning. Developing strategy for lobbying acquisitions, strategic alliances, and innovations. Relating strategy formulation and performance. Developing key performance indicators, which is one critical point of this course. So, what are the benefits of all this? What are the benefits clients achieve by following the approach outlined in this course? Which features of our system, of our SP and PM system, particular help to improve the performance of their organizations and business units? One feature clients nominate as a special benefit from this course is that key stakeholders are identified and that they are linked throughout the entire process. So, the question here is, have you identified your key stakeholders from your organization and business unit? This helps to think broadly about strategy, not simply to focus on customers or any other key stakeholder that happen to be pushed by best interests within the organization or business unit. With a comprehensive view of the key stakeholders, the strategy developed of our clients is more complete. They tell us that in developing strategy this way, they can see the connections between key stakeholders, whereas previously these connections were not clearly articulated. Also, clients relate that a benefit particular is a way in which objectives are set via behavioral outcomes. As we have said, this is a very unique approach. It helps organizations and business units to cut through the usual platitudes that arise when objective setting is the task. Clients recount that by focusing on behaviors, they are better able to identify clear and measurable objectives. From this, they can set precise targets. The benefit here is that by bringing together targets categorized by key stakeholders, they find it easier to debate not only the target levels themselves, but also the interaction between the targets. What do you think of this approach? Do you think that there is a real benefit in bringing together targets categorized by key stakeholders? A further area of significant benefit is the identification of strategic factors. Have you identified your business unit or organization strategic factors? Most clients are only partially aware of what these factors are, and it's usually only for customers. In the past, they haven't thought they say of strategic factors for other key stakeholders such as employees and suppliers. They don't know. They've traditionally taken the latter for granted. Clients reinforce the importance of starting with a clear list of key stakeholders as these drivers. This also drives the identification of strategic factors. Benefits here are the sharp and focused strategy can be developed based on strategic factors. The impact of strategy for one key stakeholder can be seen on strategy for others. An additional and telling benefit is strategy 3S's. Clients find that it is using the 6 options we presented within these 3 strategy types for each of their key stakeholders, and reviewing their applicability, no strategic option gets overlooked. Then, they go on to develop specific strategies within each option. This thorough and exhaustive approach to strategy making, our clients assure us, prevents pet projects and functional bias from driving strategy selections. In the area of performance management, Clients nominate the adoption of the key stakeholders' point of view as being of special significance. Like many organizations, they are often overwhelmed by measures, mostly meaningless, based on activity, on being busy but not business-like, on operations but not strategy. By taking key stakeholders' perspectives on their performance, clients turn the measurement process around. They measure less, but more effectively. And this stops being just a bunch of numbers, as many managers say about measurements and KPIs. They do this by returning to strategic factors. It comes as a shock to many of them to realize that they do not understand the strategic factors appropriate to their key stakeholders, and therefore meaningful measurement is an impossibility. What they also realize is that many of their measures labeled performance measurements have nothing to do with performance. That is a very big problem. Once they think of their performance from the key stakeholder point of view, they redefine performance itself. That is why we need good learning and development programs based on strategic factors and key stakeholders. Otherwise, we will be focused just on operations and internal activity, not outside looking in, but inside looking in and inside looking out. Finally, clients like this system. We have called strategic factor system, since at its core lies what key stakeholders want from an organization or business unit. This type of system can be implemented in MS SharePoint very easily. If you need help in doing this, I will be very glad to do it. By following the approach outlined in this course, you too will achieve the benefits described throughout all the course. You will lift the performance of your organization significantly. So, once again, once clients think of their performance from a stakeholder's point of view, they redefine performance itself. So, we have reached the end of this course. Please try to review each of the units. Take your notes, write your questions. I will be very glad to answer them, or to help them answer it yourself. Please take in account that you need a good learning and development program on strategy, so you can focus your mindset from the inside in to the outside in. Key stakeholders are our kings. They redefine and define our organization. We live and we work for them. Don't forget that. In thinking this way, as I said at the beginning of this course, a new way of thinking, employees and planning teams within your organization could be able to develop a strategic mindset. They also would be able to develop insights. They would be ready to write some insights down, to share them in their business unit SharePoints, to teach them about in learning and development courses, to develop action plans, actionable, shareable, rewardable strategic insights. That is the importance of this course, not just the theory in itself. It's to stop, reflect, learn, develop, create, and go to action. So, this was Victor M. Romo talking. I hope that you have enjoyed this course. This course is one of the most important strategy courses for organizations because it changes all your point of view and it changes all your mindset. Please take some notes, write them down. Send it to me throughout the comments. I will be very glad to help you. We can also set a strategic factor system in your Office MS SharePoint. We can help you with that. We know the way and we can be very happy to try to coach you in this way of looking at strategic things. Remember, from the outside looking in, not from the inside looking inside or the inside looking out. Said this, we will be closing. I will be developing some other courses, but please, I will be very thankful if you tell me what courses are you interested in about strategy, about marketing, about management development. I will be very happy to assist you in any question or in any organizational, personal struggle. The goal here is to change our mindset, to develop critical thinking, which is a key value that has to be developed in every one of ourselves and your employees in order to develop insights, which are shareable, actionable, rewardable, and strategic for each of your key stakeholders. And that way, we can make a link to all of the things we revise here in this course. KPIs, objectives, action planning. So, say this, I have to say goodbye. I will be making regular small talks about all this and more. This was Victor Marc Romo, your strategic planning and performance management coach. I hope that we can start a conversation and make your learning a more profitable and a more good way in which you can scale your organization or business unit. Goodbye. Have a nice week.